name's Michael Flynn. I'm a VP of Design here at PVH. I work on Aero Sportswear in the wholesale division and another label called GH Bass & Company also in the wholesale division. I started in art school. I went to Pratt Institute here in the city. I could draw pretty well. I can work with color and paint really well. I worked with a lot of people in between graduating and what I'm doing now. I started working in the architectural field just as an illustrator, helping architects work out some of their design issues by showing them what their projects may look like before they even got built. My sister, who actually also works in the industry, hooked me up with Nautica sportswear at the time, so I started, drawing pictures of watches and shoes and things, and so they were a little bit more architecturally designed. Bags got me into outerwear, outerwear got me into pants, pants got me into shirts, and and I could see how like patterning in shirts, patterning in sweater, and the colorations all kind of went back to my grounding in painting. I never got to get into sweaters all that much. I was always directing somebody on what I like. I was handing somebody pictures, but never really understood, the ins and outs, the fundamentals of sweater design, or knits for that matter. If somebody's saying, oh, it's a single knit, it's a double knit, I'm like, okay, whatever you say, I'll go with you, but this is what I want. Or I want it in that color, or can we make that heavier? But then this whole thing came up with Cotton Incorporated College, and they were doing a seminar on sweater production, and I was just like, oh, sign me up for that. So I was lucky enough to get in, which is a very hard class to get into these days. It's very, very popular, and boy, that all-day class was really everything I needed to know about sweaters. It took me through the fundamentals of not just sweaters, but knits, the machines, the needles. I was a complete expert by the end of the day. I've had a lot of good people in my life. I look to them and I say, what's one aspect about every one of them that was the best? They weren't necessarily gonna come down hard if I made a huge mistake. And boy, I've made a lot of them. Hundreds of thousands of dollars kinds of mistakes. That didn't quite ruffle any of their feathers. My big fat takeaway from that is like, I have to allow for the growth. I have to allow for mistakes. And I think, if you allow for the mistakes, more than 50% of those mistakes are gonna be happy ones. I look at inspiration and you have to back that out and say, what are you working on? I'm always looking at artwork, I'm looking at paintings, I'm looking through magazines, and not necessarily apparel stuff. I'm always getting inspiration from just being out there. It's looking at other people's stuff, it's looking at other people's clothes. How do I look at other people's clothes with an eye towards what I'm doing here? Sometimes it comes from left field, sometimes not. It's a really creative field, and it's kind of fast-paced and multifaceted, and I think that's what appeals to a lot of people. I know that's what appeals to me about it. I don't think there is a real path. Should you go to design school for apparel? Sure, why not? That would be the easy answer. Do you have to? No. I didn't, and I learned everything I know from just asking questions and trying to be passionate and enthusiastic about everything that we do. It really has more to do with that than almost anything. I really think it has to do with, the love of it, the enthusiasm, the energy level. That's more important, I think.